Jack Tucker and you're watching BREADSPACE, your favorite semi-ironic bread-based talk show, except today things are a little different and it's not exactly a talk show. But there's still some fun things we can all do when we're in our respective homes and hometowns. Today I'm going to be making some pumpkin bread because it's my favorite one and I could use something good happening right now. For those of you who don't know, my hometown is Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I've been here for just over 6 weeks now. Most of my time has been split between doing school and sending videos of me playing my melodica to my friends. No, really, like a lot of videos of me playing my melodica to my friends. But while I'm getting this bread ready, I'm going to be taking some of your questions. Lucy Drennan asks how I feel about gluten-free bread. A great question. I don't really know anything about gluten-free bread. I kind of thought that bread just was gluten. So I don't have a hard opinion, but if you know something about gluten-free bread, please come on the show and teach all of us. Clay Long says, you are always making bread but never getting bread. Jeff Field, why is that? Less of a question, more of an observation, but if you think it would improve the show, there's my Venmo. Let's do this thing. Chris Donlin asks what my stance on the baker's dozen is. First of all, I'm glad this is the show where we tackle the hard-hitting questions. So a baker's dozen is 13, they give you an extra one in case something goes wrong, and I think that is a great idea because we've messed up so many baked products on this show. That is not bread. So bad news. I know nothing about bread. I think 13 is a conservative estimate for how much it would take to make up for your baking mistakes. Dominica Coca asks what I miss most about the calf. First of all, a lot, RIP. But I think the thing I miss the most is breakfast in the calf. You can have like a 4-course breakfast without paying a dime or having to make it yourself. If you don't eat breakfast in the calf, you gotta start doing that. Andrew Stone asked least favorites, which is a great question. Now, does he mean bread product from the show? Because in that case, it would be the Skittles bread that I made.
I'm not mad at it. I kind of like it.
That tastes horrible.
Listen.
Or is this just the kind of question that resists an answer, to be interpreted differently throughout the ages? Who's to say? Kirk Tetmeyer asks, do you work at Little Caesars because you're hot and I'm ready? Is pizza a bread product? Because if so, come on the show. We'll hash this out, see what happens. Danielle Fight asks, why is it called New Mexico when it's not new and it's not Mexico? This is a really great question. I've been asking it for years and I truly think the government has a lot to answer for on that one. Sorry I didn't get to all the questions. Thank you for asking them. Make sure you're following at Welcome to BREADSPACE on Instagram. Alright, now it's time to put this bread in the oven and move on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is not brought to you by McDougal's. Today's show has no sponsor. Instead, if you're watching this, you should donate to Feeding America. Feeding America is the largest domestic hunger relief organization. They're currently working with food banks across the country as well as governments and school districts to make sure that the 22 million kids in the country who need school meals aren't going hungry right now. You can give at feedingamerica.org/donate, or if you don't want to mess with all that, Venmo me at NotJackTucker. I promise you I'll get this money to them. Thank you so much. Oh, that sound means it's time for a BREADSPACE vibe check. That's right, we're gonna check in and see how the vibes are where you are.
Hey yo, Danielle Fight Check. I make dancing TikToks with my mom. There she is. Also walked a marathon, doing big things in quarantine. Am I right or am I right?
It's Jake here, CEO of Holy Moly Records, also Jart and Legit Smitty, just making hot tracks.
You ain't gotta go outside to go viral. Just put your hands in the air and do a spiral.
And I'm socializing with my family distantly. The coffee pot is hot and I am going crazy.
Just in case you were wondering, Abby, what have you been up to during quarantine? Well, this is it.
You earned a gold medal.
And this is my lovely mother, and we've been spending our quarantine out here amongst the trees, smoking cigars together, if you can believe that. Not eating any bread whatsoever at all.
I have been making a ton of bread actually, which goes with your brand. I've made 25 loaves so far and counting. Other than that, I've just been brushing my teeth and taking naps.
Hey BREADSPACE, this is Hannah Hopkins. I started playing the piano probably like 2 weeks ago. My dad just bought this keyboard. I just decided I would play something for y'all today, so here we go.
This quarantine, Marcy and I are continuing our podcast, but it's become weekly and over Zoom. Tune in to Real Pod Stan and Marcy on Spotify if you're in the mood after you watch all the BREADSPACEs.
Check it out. There's prank calls.
Woo!
Fun fact, Chris Donlin actually made the theme song for this show. Speaking of which, I think it's time that we take a look back with the memories BREADSPACE made with the class of 2020. This bizarre Last Supper painting that you're looking at is my family. You just taste test. You know?
Yeah. Like we're all getting married.
What? What do you all remember about your wedding?
I feel like I remember the whole thing.
Yeah, just odd glimpses. One thing I remember is the just inhuman amount of sweat pouring off the pastor.
Yeah.
I came out before the ceremony started, and he already was sweating like crazy. I want to say, dude, are you all right?
At the top of the aisle, when I got up there to meet Dad, I looked up.
Or Mary.
Had you guys met before?
But he was pouring sweat, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, we were just with him last night. Did he get sick?
So like, can we eat?
Okay.
Yeah, y'all want to dive in?
Raise our
Raise your bread.
Raise our bread.
Raise your bread.
Raise our bread.
Raise your bread. Mazel tov.
This is some dank bread, my brother.
Really good. You want joy?
Want my honest opinion?
Absolutely yes.
Could use chocolate.
Ooh, chocolate chips in banana bread is.
This isn't banana bread.
Oh, you know what would make this bread really good is if it was a different kind of bread. Well, thank you for keeping it real with me, Virginia.
You're welcome.
I hope you will continue to keep it real with me because, well, you know what time it is. It's time for Playing Favorites, our favorite part of the show where you tell us what's best. Favorite thing to do during quarantine?
Read.
TikTok. Be with my family.
Watch movies.
Nice. Favorite kind of bread?
This one. Pumpkin chocolate chip.
Okay.
Ooh, the bread basket, cinnamon, apple, raisin, whatever that.
Whoa.
Banana bread.
Nice. Favorite Pixar movie?
Toy Story 2. Cars.
Toy Story.
Cars?
Toy Story.
Okay, can we just take a minute?
No, not for
keep going, keep
Cars.
going.
Favorite Office character?
Jim.
Dwight. Jim.
Michael.
Favorite pair of shoes you own?
Chocos.
They're 2.5-inch platform sneakers.
Those are enormous.
Birkenstocks.
Ooh, I guess my running shoes.
Favorite member of your immediate family?
Aiden.
All of you.
Mom.
You, Jack.
Oh, let's go. What's the best piece of parenting advice you've ever received?
Just enjoy your kids.
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy them.
They grow up and they leave home and.
No, they
Not
don't.
necessarily.
What is the best piece of advice that our parents ever gave you?
Well, from Dad, it's swing out in the direction you want the ball to go.
In golf?
Words to live by.
In golf. And Mom, she once said, I am loved.
She once said that.
Glad you heard it the one time I said it. That's not advice.
That's not advice.
It was good though.
Thank you all for joining me today.
Thanks for having
I'll
us.
be here indefinitely.
That's the plan.